Look at this. America, 36% obesity rate. Japan, 3.6%. 10 times lower. And it has almost nothing to do with genetics. Scientists have studied this for decades. Doctors have written entire books about it, and the answer they keep finding is surprisingly simple. It starts not in a gym, not in a pharmacy. It starts in the kitchen, and in the streets, and in a philosophy of life that most of the Western world has never even heard of. Today, I'm going to walk you through 10 real reasons why Japanese people don't get fat, reasons backed by science, rooted in culture, and honestly, a little humbling for the rest of us. Let's start with point 1. The Japanese breakfast. The first difference happens before 8 a.m. While millions of people in the West either skip breakfast or grab something ultra-processed, a typical Japanese morning looks like this. Miso soup, steamed rice, grilled fish, pickled vegetables, green tea. No processed sugar, no inflammatory seed oils, no artificial anything. Every single ingredient is alive, fermented, fresh, or gently cooked. This one meal sets the metabolic tone for the entire day. Hara Hachibu. In Okinawa, Japan's famous blue zone where people routinely live past 100, there is a saying that is repeated before every single meal. Hara Hachi Bu. It means eat until you are 80% full. Not stuffed, not satisfied, 80%. This is not a diet. It is a cultural instruction that has been passed down for over 500 years. And neuroscience now confirms exactly why it works. Your brain takes about 20 minutes to register fullness. By stopping at 80%, you are working with your biology, not against it. The result? A lifetime of naturally controlled calorie intake, without a single calorie ever being counted. Walking. The average Japanese person walks 7,000 to 8,000 steps per day. Not because they set a step goal on their phone, not because they go to the gym, because their cities are built for walking. Train stations, narrow streets, no giant parking lots in front of every shop. The infrastructure forces movement as a daily baseline. Over 80 years, this adds up to something extraordinary. Researchers have found that this consistent, low-intensity daily movement is more protective against cardiovascular disease than intense gym sessions done a few times a week. They don't exercise. They just live. Fermented foods. Here is the gut health secret Japan has known for over 1,000 years. Miso, natto, tsukemono, amazake. These fermented foods appear at the Japanese table every single day. And modern science now has a name for why this matters. The gut-brain axis. The trillions of bacteria in your gut directly influence your metabolism, your hunger hormones, your inflammation levels, and even your mood. Japanese people have been accidentally optimizing their gut microbiome for centuries. The West discovered probiotics. Japan just eats them. Portion psychology. Walk into a Japanese restaurant. The portions are small. The plate is small. The bowl is small. But here is what's interesting. Nobody feels deprived. Because Japanese food culture is built around variety, not volume. A traditional meal might have 5 to 7 small dishes, each one different, each one beautiful, each one eaten slowly and appreciated. The brain registers satisfaction from variety and presentation, not just from quantity. This is food psychology, working at a civilizational level. Green tea. The average Japanese adult drinks 3 to 4 cups of green tea per day. Not as a health supplement, not as a trend. As a cultural ritual that has existed for over 800 years. What does the research say? Green tea, specifically the catechins and EGCG in matcha and sencha, measurably boosts metabolic rate, reduces visceral fat accumulation, and reduces blood sugar spikes after meals. It also replaces something critical: sugary drinks. The Japanese simply do not have the soda culture that drives obesity in the West. Green tea is their default hydration. It has been for centuries. Fish, not red meat. Japan consumes more fish per capita than almost any nation on Earth. Salmon, mackerel, sardines, tuna. Omega-3 fatty acids at every meal. Compare this to Western diets built around red meat and processed meat, foods strongly linked to inflammation, insulin resistance, and weight gain. The omega-3s in Japanese fish consumption don't just protect the heart. They regulate hunger hormones. They reduce inflammation in fat cells. They measurably improve insulin sensitivity. Their protein source is doing metabolic work that most Western protein sources simply are not. Eating slowly. In Japan, eating fast is considered impolite. There is an entire philosophy around taking your time at the table, savoring each bite, acknowledging the labor that went into the food, being present. This is not just politeness, it is biology. Eating slowly gives your satiety hormones time to do their job. People who eat slowly on average consume 15 to 20% fewer calories per meal without trying, just by giving their body time to catch up with their fork. Japan built this into its culture. The West needs an app to remind us to chew. Ragio Taiso. Every morning at 6:30 a.m., millions of Japanese people, from school children to retirees in their 80s, gather in parks and community spaces to do Ragio Taiso, radio calisthenics. It's a 10-minute sequence of gentle stretches and movements that has been broadcast on national radio since 1928. It is not intense. It is not designed to burn calories. It is designed to move every joint in the body, stimulate circulation, and create a daily habit of movement that never breaks. Scientists who study longevity consistently point to this kind of gentle, consistent, communal daily movement as one of the strongest predictors of healthy aging they have ever found. Ikigai. The final reason is the one Western medicine is only now beginning to take seriously. Ikigai. A Japanese concept that roughly translates to the reason you get up in the morning. Your purpose. Your reason to be. Studies of centenarians in Okinawa consistently show that those who live longest are not the ones who exercised most or ate most perfectly. They are the ones who had the strongest sense of purpose and social connection. Chronic stress, the kind that comes from meaningless work, loneliness, and feeling purposeless, triggers cortisol. Cortisol drives fat storage, destroys gut bacteria, accelerates aging. Ikigai. Ikigai is the antidote. And it costs absolutely nothing. So here is what we have learned. Japan's low obesity rate is not a genetic accident. It is the output of a culture that has, consciously and unconsciously, built health into the architecture of daily life. They eat in a way that works with the body. They move as a natural consequence of how their cities are designed. They maintain gut health through food, not supplements. They eat slowly, eat beautifully, and stop before they're full. They drink green tea instead of soda. They get up every morning with a reason to live. None of these things require money. None of them require a gym. None of them require willpower. They require a different philosophy. The most important thing I want you to take from this video is not a list of rules. It's a shift in how you see food and movement. Not as punishment and reward, but as daily ritual and cultural identity. Japan didn't solve obesity with a diet. They never needed to. Because the way they live is the diet. If this video changes how you see things, share it with one person who needs to hear it. And if you want to go